Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your host, Dr. Peter. We are starting this week update as usual with the DXY. Let's start with DXY on the weekly time frame. For those very conversant with candle formation, the candle formation, of course, could help us to see the mood that probably were captured in 1 week on the weekly time frame. Now, we believe that we are at bottom here on wave 3, and that this probably is ABC of wave 4, and that we are going to do the last wave to the downside. In as much as we are saying that we need to break this low at 97,900 for us to confirm that we are going to the downside. At this moment, it's still unfolding, and there has not been any real movement from the DXY or a fall from the DXY. And when you are seeing a move like this at times, it may signal that, okay, we may go up one more time to either break the top or tap the top before we fall. But we need to see that big push. But at the same time, if price will continue to drag down at the opening of the market tomorrow to this level of 98,850, if market will touch this level of 98,850 or break 98,540, then we can now assume that yes, it's almost against getting certain that we are going down. But for now, the price here, we can't say it's an evening star yet. For those that reach market, it's not an evening star yet, but we'll still believe that this might still grind slowly to the downside once the market opens on Sunday. Now, if you want to be cautious to prevent a loss or safeguard your money, then you have to look at this level here at the close of this candle here as a possible place to safeguard your profit if you are selling the XY. But again, we know the usual things that we expect in terms of wave analysis and structure. In a corrective way, we expect a 3-wave minimum. And in a motive wave sequence, we expect a 5-wave minimum. So on the daytime frame, are we done with that movement? It's not going sharp to the downside at the moment. This is a daily candle. We had seen more or less at this point consolidation, and price broke slightly to the downside. We need to take out this and this area to signal intention of the fall. But for now, even if anything is going to be, we still expect like between here and here, with A to this point and with B to this point, and at least 100 extension to show that we had completed a wave C before we turn up. Not until we complete a wave C here, we shouldn't think of turning up on the DXY. That's being cautious. If you go on a 4-hour time frame now, on a 4-hour time frame, what are those limits? With A, this would have been a 1, 2, 3 of A here, in immediate A, then the correction here as an A, B, C of a wave B. So, which means that this will now be the low, and this will be the high of this correction. So, it will now be A to B to give us an 100 extension, which is not what we are seeing at the moment. So we still believe that this thing possibly will grind to the downside more. And so if I bring out my drawing, the 100 extension should be around this area. Around this area, a 1, 2, 3, and a 1, 6, 1, 8. Will still, this is not completed. Even if it's a corrective, it is not completed if it's corrective. And so once the price goes down, we can try to book this level as your stop loss to prevent, we need it to grind down more. Now, if you look at euro dollar, it's the same. If I quickly switch to the weekly time frame on euro dollar. Now, weekly time frame on euro dollar look more of a morning star, almost eroding this. Yeah, if it closed like this, it's more of a morning star that the price is set to make a U-turn to break the top. So even though we are lagging a bit on the DXY, we look at all these instruments and parameters all together to have an idea of what the market is trying to do. So this is still expected to go up. But again, like I said, in any trade that once you have a change of so-called trend or correction, a deep correction, you have to first engage yourself as if, is it a three-wave correction that I'm looking at? Would it go into an impulse? So that's how to begin to navigate. Then going into the 4-hour time frame to see this 4-hour time frame now, again, we're looking at this as the height of the first move and this as the low of the first move. Then we are still within an 100, still shy of 100% correction to the upside in case we want to still have a movement to the downside. So we are still a buyer. That's what I'm trying to say. The only reason why I would continue to look for a sell here is if we grind up and there is a sharp movement to the downside. So once you see a sharp movement to the downside, which is an impulse, then we can look for correction and begin to sell. Otherwise, we'll see this grinding up to a point and probably around this area. We might grind up on the daily around this area, might take out to this area or around this area. We might break it before we now see a correction of these will now be on a daytime frame as an A, B before we go higher up. So we are waiting for a much deeper correction than what we've had or what we have seen here, but not in now. I still see that this is going to push up to this area probably before we get that slightly bigger correction to go up again. That's the way the price moves. Now, if we switch to pound USD, pound USD also looks bullish. We are in the middle of all these. This might just be an A, B, maybe a little more correction down to the downside before price will push further up. And if price is going to break down again, of course, if it breaks down again, it's possible. That's 30% likely that price will be doing that. If price will push down hard, then at the break of the low, we'll look for a buy. But what I see now is more push up. At least this has to give me an ABC, and it's really shy of an ABC, at least 100 extension A, B to the upside and 100 extension. Then we'll see what price will give us. So we still need that one more leg, and that one more leg will set the tone for what to expect next. And after that one more leg, if we have a sharp movement to the downside, then the correction we begin to sell. Otherwise, if it begins to correct, a more complex correction, we are going to look for a buy again. NZD USD, NZD USD, and NZD USD. Yeah, price also is grinding up slowly to the upside. This looks like okay. We are like an A here, a B at this low, but we need this to grind more to the upside. On the weekly time frame, what do we have? Still grinding slowly. This is what we have on the weekly time frame. Price grinding up slowly. You know, we may just correct, then push up. But if it's going to drop hard to the downside, then we look for another buy. We still need that impulse, big one to the upside. Then the next one is USD Yen JPY. On USD Yen, like we need to be careful what the price is doing here. I believe we're in that zone. We are yet to see that turn to the downside, but you have to be very careful. Look at the structure, what the structure has built. For me, we need to take the low of 152,930 before we we will be ready to go down. On the daily, we are not seeing that push to the downside yet, but structure-wise, we have completed the structure. This may just look like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and the last 5 going up. That's on the weekly. If we turn to the daily time frame, let's see. We're already seeing the ending structure here. We may likely have one more push at the up. This is the ending structure that I'm talking about. This is like a 1, a 2. This is like a 3, a 4, and this might be a 5. Looking at that on the daily. But again, this candle, if it closes like this, tells me that probably the liquidity is to the downside. But we need to take this out now. 152, 800 here. We need to take that out. This is too far, but this is what we need to take to the downside now to confirm that we are ready to push down. But can we see something more on the 4-hour time frame? Let's see. I've done an extensive discussion on this. If you check my channel, you will see the video on yen dollar. So let me bring out the drawing for us to see what is possible here. What is possible here, if you can see this, you can see the end structure and the price has lost momentum. We already have a break here now to the downside, but yet we are to see that momentum to the downside. Price may go up one more time to cap the top or break it slightly before dropping, but this is a loss of momentum and these had been breached. These had been breached. That's a falling wedge that has been breached, and we are going to see that big move very, very soon. So for me, this looks like a 1, a 2 of the ending structure. This looks more like a 3 and a 4 and the 5th wave. And in this 5th wave, we'll see it also giving us an ending structure. It's likely to be a 1, a 2 here, probably a 3 and a 4 has just built, encroaching in the territory of wave 1 here, which looks for a 4. Or, you know, before we felt 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but the way it is now, this is corrective. So this looks more like the 4th wave. One more move to the upside to cap the top, to break it slightly or not. We are going to fall. We're going to see that big fall very soon. So if I were you, I won't be looking to buy this. I'll be looking for the right to sell, you know, and a break below here, you are good to go. That's a 153 or we allow you to, of course, to break. Once it breaks the top again, then you are good to go for your sell stop here while you are trying to read the internal structure of this. Then the next is Euro Yen. Euro Yen is the next. All the yen pairs are getting set for that move. And we can see these also getting set for that move. This looks like here, a 1, a 2, a 3, then a 4, and this is a 5. That's the way it's looking like of the ending structure. If you connect this with this is the ending structure here. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. On the 4-hour time frame, this is a 5. And within this fifth wave now, so what do we see? You can see a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. So both on the euro yen and USD dollar yen, we are looking for one more up, one more wave to the upside before we begin to seal that fall. This is the fourth wave, of the last 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before we see that to move. Then the next one we are going to see, which is the last one, is gold. Now, on gold, I will spend a little more time because you might be saying that, okay, yes, this is looking more like an ABC of A, probably this is a B. Probably we are going to have a C wave that will break the bottom. You might be thinking that's it, but what's the move generally on the monthly time frame first? What's the mood? The mood capture on the monthly, it's bullish. The mood capture on the monthly is bullish. So what we want to see now is that we don't want to see price breaking 39.89. 39.89 support should stand for us to push up. That's what we are saying. 39, of course, it shouldn't break this low here, 39.31, but it looks more like this support here at 39.89 will be an ideal on the monthly. So it's bullish on the weekly time frame. What do we have on the weekly time frame? Now, when you see this move on the weekly time frame, this is where you begin to think that, are we going to have an ABC? The move like this with this week tells me liquidity exists immediately to the upside. I expect the move to the upside. So price is going to move upward. I don't see this trying to come down now. It's looking more like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave are developed here. Other than thinking that it's an ABC to the downside, it looks more like we have done an ABC to finish with 4 here, and that this is developing into 5 waves to the upside, and it might just be a bigger wave 2 that we are seeing to go up. Talk less of thinking of an ABC to the downside, which is not looking likely that is what we are seeing, at the moment. Now let's look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we are doing all this analysis because when you see this push, you say this is a momentum. It doesn't really matter when you see things like this on the daily time frame that, it's a momentum candle. It could just be the end of the correction and the price will continue to turn up. This looks more like an ABC to the downside, and this looks like a 1, a 2, a 3. This is not an ABC for me because why? This actually extends to like 200%. Is an 200% extension, way over 161.8. That makes me think this is not likely going to be a B wave, and that you don't expect a C wave. For me, I think to break up, it's more of 70% for me, and to break down is more of 30%. Now, how do we process this and to execute? Now, this is what to do. Just like I said here, that this looks like an ABC of wave 4, and this looks like, of course, in wave 1, also it's a diagonal, which is truly a diagonal here. 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a 5 here. Oh, sorry. A 1 and a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 here, which is truncated. Before we now have a wave 2, A, B, C to the downside, and the internal structure of wave 3, a 1, 2 of wave 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, and a 3, 5. Of course, if this can also be a C wave, the extension for me is what, number 1, is not making it look like a C wave, the extension for me. Number 2, the appearance of the weekly candle is number 2 reason that I won't think. Number 4 reason is, or number 3 reasons is that I would have expected that this one to come down in a 5 waves format, a motive wave and a wave 2 or a wave B, but a wave 1 and a wave 2, but it looks more like a wave A, B, and a C to the answer for me. Why? Let's look at the internal structure of that initial wave. If we go to the 15 minutes time frame to look at it, 15 minutes time frame here. I would have expected that, okay, maybe we can still say it's like a 1 and 2, yeah, A, B, C, yeah, and here, the 4th and the 5th wave, then it doesn't look like that, even on the 15 minutes time frame. It doesn't look like that. It looks more like an A and a B and a C here. Then we now have an A, B, C of that correction to the upside, because this is falling low now. Then we now have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is properly a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This is so it looks more like an A, B, C of wave A and a wave B and a wave C. That's the way it's looking like now. A, B, C of wave A, wave B, and a wave C. It looks more like that. Now, within this wave of a C here, we can also see that you can even say, you can't say that this is wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3, and wave 4. It doesn't come out like that. This cannot be a wave 1 and a wave 2. So it's an A, B, C of a wave A, B, and a C. If it's going to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we can say, okay, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then this one will give us a 2. It's more like an A, B in the middle of the initial wave A, and a B, and a C. Then this is C, of course. You can say this AC is typical of a C wave, a 1, a 2, a 3 here, 4, and a 5. Then we are saying we may have ended this. Looking at the internal structure, that's what I can see here, that this is a new wave. And it's not likely going to be the 3rd, a 4th wave. But you know the limit of a 4th wave in a motive. If you think that this is a motive wave and a 1 and a 2 and a 3, this already needs to break above 50 or 40 or 50. Once you see that, then it's going to grind up. It's not a correction, it's a move. It's going to be a move. But for now, we can see this as a correction of this wave for now. That's what to see. Probably an A, B, maybe one more turn to the downside, then begin to go up. Or this will be just correct to a 50 and begins to grind up. Then once it pushes beyond 100% extension, then you begin to look at this as a possible continuation to the upside. But from the feel of this wave, it doesn't look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for me. It looks more of an A, B, C of A, and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We may have ended here. And so if that is the case, what I'm trying to say, if I may come again, it's that if you think that this is going to be a bigger correction and breakdown, then this has got to, initial movement like this has got to give you a 5-wave format, a 5 waves, which is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it's not a 5 waves, then it's just a simple correction A, B, C, and that's the end of it. That's the end of it. Of course, you may still do this A, B, C, and make it a zigzag and turn to the downside, but it is not looking more like, it's not likely going to be what's, we must pay attention. But for now, it looks more like a 1, and the whole of this may just have finished this correction as a 2, and we need to see us break this. Once we break this point, we are going up again. That's what let's say. So with that, I've come to the end. It's a bit long, but I need to explain, how, you are going to attack this. So have a wonderful time trading next week. Bye.